The refugees get help with food, water, shelter, education, even legal assistance through Catholic Relief Services. CRS has spent $110 million serving about 800,000 people, those people suffering as the result of the Syrian crisis. Jason Calvi has more tonight.
Sean Callahan has worked for Catholic Relief Services for almost 3 decades. He's back home after visiting refugees in Serbia.
Sean, as you were visiting with these refugees, what went through your heart to hear their stories?
You know, it was really heartbreaking to see families who had not only lost family members, lost their homes and lost their jobs, but now had to abandon their country to find some safety and security. There were many of them frightened and had been traveling for 7 to 10 weeks. So, you know, I started thinking of what would it be like if I were in that situation, if these were my children.
Callahan says the stream of refugees is actually bringing Serbians together.
People were coming off the streets and hearing about the assistance that was needed and donating blankets and volunteering their time and making tea and coffee and welcoming people. And so Serbia has had a lot of violence and religious strife that has happened 20 years ago, but a lot of that remnants is still there. And it really seemed like this crisis, with this people coming together, many of whom had been refugees themselves during the Balkan War, were coming together, and it was kind of binding the country as opposed to tearing it apart.
CRS is asking the United States to take in more refugees.
Some people were concerned about security, that maybe a member of ISIS or another terrorist group can come in and come through the refugee process. What do you say to them?
You know, we find it highly unlikely, you know, as we've been talking with our European partners. In each case, as they cross the border, in many of the cases that we have seen, and in the areas where we're providing legal services, but these people have to register at the borders. They're providing fingerprints. They're also having their pictures taken. If this was a terrorist, there are many different ways they could get into Europe without going through such stringent border crossing each of the times and being located with a large group of other people because they're being bussed and then taken by government officials.
Now the question is, where will these refugees call home? Jason Calvi, EWTN News Nightly.